we're seeing more clients every day that very sadly they've gotten into a dead hole that is very difficult to dig out of.
But there's a limit to how far you can do that. You know, that was a speculative bubble, and it burst in 2008. We know what happened, and so all of the coping mechanisms that the middle class has used to avoid the inevitable reality that their wages have gone nowhere for 30 years, adjusted for inflation, are now exhausted. When the middle class doesn't share in the economic gains, you get into this downward vicious cycle. And the problem is, for the last 3 decades, nothing has fundamentally changed in terms of inequality. And it wasn't until the Clinton administration that there was an opportunity to reverse all of this. And that was what was so damn frustrating.
The Senate, I believe, is on the verge of passing the jobs program. Things are going well.
I mean, we had budget surpluses. We might have been able to take those surpluses and invest them in education and job training, change the structure, ultimately, of the economy. But there wasn't the political will to do that.
Before I leave, I also want to say a special word of thanks to my longtime friend, Secretary Rice, who's carried on this fight for the minimum wage. This was an especially sweet day for him as well, and I thank him for his efforts.
I should say something, just so it's not misunderstood. Bill Clinton did preside over one of the best economies we've had in this country in living memory. The wages of most people went up. Poverty actually declined. But we didn't do enough. We didn't really alter the underlying trend. I became a true pain in the ass. I mean, looking back on it, I'm embarrassed. In meetings, I would sound off about, inequality and are we looking at the distributional impacts of this policy or that policy? I mean, I became predictable. People would roll their eyes. I'm surprised Bill Clinton kept me around. So I do want to bring you up to date on a couple of matters. First of all, the president was reelected. The second is that I'm going home. I am so glad you did not clap. In the end, I left. Partly I was frustrated. Partly I just hadn't seen anything of my family. I hadn't seen the boys. I said to Bill Clinton, I had to go home.